Shadow Magnezone, going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Earthquake. Out comes Gator, but Gator going to be straight in and straight out. Wild Charge picks up that one-hit KO. The opponent sends out Poliwrath, look for the counter farm down. Magnezone says no and about to claim back-to-back victims. Welcome back to the channel. Firstly, a happy new year to everyone. I hope 2025 is a good year for us all. I personally have a few goals for the year. You can call them resolutions. I'm just going to call them goals. I'm going to look to get myself back fitter. When I was younger, I used to play rugby at a very competitive level, and I've also entered the boxing ring 32 times, as well as completed numerous marathons. Nowadays, I'm not only a potato at GBL, but somewhat of a couch potato, and I look to change that. When it comes to my YouTube channel, I'm going to look to get some consistency back on it. And we're going to start the year, as we mean to go on, with an absolute boom. Today we have an incredible battle submission from Shiftreason. Shiftreason is going to be running a very glassy team with a double electric strategy. And if you look to the left, you will notice that both our electric types aren't running their usual bait moves of Psychic Fangs and Mirror Shot respectively. Instead, we got Seed Bomb. Hopefully we're going to one-shot some very annoying Gastrodon and Zap Cannon. I've got no idea if we're going to reach a Zap Cannon, but I guess there's only one way to find out. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, we're going to lead Shadow Dragonite into Greninja. A very, very nice lead for us. The opponent going to pivot out into Annihilate. Today's team is a double electric strategy, but we're also double weak to fighting in the back. So this is exactly where Shiftreason wants to see the fighter. We land the Dragon Claw. The opponent going to return fire with the Rage Fist. Rage Fist would be survivable, but I don't dislike just the one shield. Full Dragon Breath farm down, keeping Dragonite around. The opponent then sends out Wigglytuff. We see the pivot into Magnezone. Ironically, these resisted charms are doing more than our neutral Volt switches, but that just shows you just how glassy our UFO is. We farm up, fire off the Wild Charge, forcing the opponent's first protection. Magnezone doubled up, goes for the second Wild Charge, forcing the opponent all shields down. This Wigglytuff is still going to be a huge problem for us. Another shared weakness this team has is an ABA weakness to Fairy. We send out Dragonite, look to reach the superpower, unfortunately die as the superpowers are reached, and it's all down to Morpeko to clean up. Out comes Morpeko. We invest Protection, get baited with the Icy Wind. Back out comes Greninja. Morpeko will claim its first victim, but we are still in so much trouble. Hopefully the opponent's running Swift as a second move. They've got Disarming Voice. This is game over. Moment of truth. What do they throw? Oh man, it's a Disarming Voice, and unfortunately we are going to start today's video with a heartbreaking loss. In the next battle, we see Alolan Sandslash in the lead. We see the save switch into Magnezone. I was going to say Sandslash could be somewhat of a problem for us, but the opponent answers our Magnezone save switch with Mandibuzz Trainer. Are you sure about that counter swap? We tank the Dark Pulse, farm up to the double Wild Charge. The opponent completely sacked Mandibuzz. Magnezone gets yet another big boom. Trust me, today's video is going to have booms left, right and centre. Back out comes Sandslash. We full send the next Wild Charge. I say full send. We haven't even got Mirror Shots. That actually is our cheapest move. We force the opponent's Protect Shield and now send out Morpeko. The opponent baits with the Ice Punch. Then send out Altaria. We see the banking of the Aura Wheel, the pivot back out into Dragonite. Dragonite able to reach the Dragon Claw. We actually see the Undercharge. I love this play. And it's CMP. Oof. Shiftreason, you are cooking, my friend. Sky Attack removes Dragonite from the field of play. Morpeko comes out, gets the Thundershock farm down, leaving very close to the double Aura Wheel. The opponent really have to tank the first move, which they do, but it just does far too much damage. Morpeko able to Thundershock farm down, and we take that game. Very, very nicely played. Heading into the next battle. Shadow Dragonite into Primate. This is exactly where the team wants to see it. The opponent say switches into Dugong, and we swiftly answer with Magnezone. Once again, we're going straight for the Wild Charge. Oh boy, Dugong straight in and straight out. The opponent sends back out Primate. Magnezone, still not done, reaches one further Wild Charge, forcing a protection. The Volt switches even get it below half health. Back out comes Dragonite. Hopefully this isn't an Ice Punch. Thankfully it's not. The opponent fire off the Rage Fist. They're at the second Rage Fist. Shiftreason can just go for the one shield. Full Dragon Breath farm down. The opponent sends out Ice type number 2. We full send the Superpower. Superpower. Boo. Goes shielded. And out comes Morpeko. As this isn't a Shadow Abomasnow, I'm anticipating him being on Icy Wind and not Weather Ball. The opponent does throw the Icy Wind. Debuffing our attack, but Morpeko says, no problem, buddy. I'm just going to vamp it back up. Aura Wheel, despite being resisted, does half the health. As they're on Icy Wind and not Weatherball, their pacing is slower. Morpeko able to reach the next Aura Wheel, removing a Bomber Snow from the field of play. Back out comes Primate, we get the Thundershock farm down and take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see the pesky spider Ariados in the lead. Both Dragonite and Magnezone fully wall this thing. Morpeko not particularly good into it, as the lunges will hit the super effective. The opponent fire off the lunge. I say it's resisted. Dragonite, especially in the Great League, the Shadow variant can't really tank a hit to save its life. We return fire with the Dragon Claw. The opponent invests that Protect Shield. Dragonite now very, very low. So hopefully the opponent hasn't got something like a ground type or a fighter hiding behind this. We send out Magnezone. Magnezone looking for the Volt Switch farm down, which we're unable to get before the opponent fire off one further very annoying debuff. We see the instant pivot into Morpeko looking to reset their debuff, and there is the ground type. And this is probably why we've got Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb hits for super effective. Not the most super effective damage, as Diggersby, unlike Dragonite, has 1 bazillion HP. We see a huge Protect Shield deployed, correctly shielding up the Scorching Sands. We overfarm, fire off the Aura Wheel, looking to remove Diggersby from the field of play. The opponent invests their final Protect Shield, revealing they might be weak in the back. We see both trainers farming up. The opponent tries to make the catch onto Gator. Shiftreason heavily overfarms. Perfect energy management and very good discipline. The opponent recognises there's nothing they can do and they concede the match. GG's, very nicely done. In the next battle, we see Dragonite into Wish Daddy Cash. We see the opponent save switch into Mandibars, and here comes Morpeko. Morpeko, unlike Magnezone, has the ability to fully wall Mandibars, and we've already seen that Magnezone didn't tank a Dark Pulse particularly well. The opponent fired off the Aerial Ace. We overfarm, fire off the Aura Wheel, go for an undercharge. Oof, but it still removes the bulky Vulture from the field of play. Back out comes Wish Daddy Cash. Unless the opponent shields, they will be getting one shot. Morpeko absolutely going off. Out comes Meganium. Meganium should be fully walling our current moveset, as we're on the Electric type Aura Wheel, but Morpeko already heavily boosted. That resisted Aura Wheel almost removes them from the field of play. This little mouse thing is such a problem. If you haven't got the correct alignment against it, it can get out of hand. It looks like Shiftreason looking for the 2 shield flex. We send out Magnezone. I don't really know why the opponent's staying in. They actually go for the Frenzy Plant. We see an attempted Frenzy Plant catch onto Dragonite. The opponent able to remove Magnezone from the field of play, but Dragonite going to be able to Dragon Breath farm down, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, Shadow Dragonite into Steelix. Oh boy, this thing is going to be a problem for us to deal with. We see the save switch into Morpeko, go straight for the Seed Bomb, which will hit for neutral. Although in fairness, it doesn't do all that much damage. The opponent doesn't commit to an Earthquake. This is either a double resisted Psychic Fangs or a Breaking Swipe. The opponent fire off the Breaking Swipe. Morpeko does resist Electric, as Electric does resist itself. We now fire off the Dark type Aura Wheel, removing Steelix from the field of play. Who said that thing was a problem? I did, but evidently it was not.
Morpeko just misses out on the next Aura Wheel, but out comes Magnezone. Volt Switch going to tear through Jellicent. We see the instant shield deployed. Hopefully this isn't a Bubble Beam bait. Thankfully the opponent throws the Surf. We farm up, look for the Surf catch onto Dragonite unsuccessfully. Jellicent pivots out with the move banked, and out comes the opposing Morpeko. The opponent makes a mistake going straight for a Psychic Fangs. Dragonite might be glassy, but Dragonite says that simply will not get the job done. Dragonite going to return fire with the Dragon Claw, forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. If the opponent look for that full Thundershock farm down, which they do, Dragonite will be reaching the next Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. That should be 1 Volt Switch range, and this is going to be game over. The opponent might have a move banked on Jellicent, but if you think they're winning CMP, spoiler alert, they certainly will not. Magnezone with the higher attack and going to clean up. GG's and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle. Shiftreason is going to lead his Shadow Dragonite into Thickersby. A very nice lead for us, unless the opponent's got Hyper Beam, but that takes quite a long time to get to. The opponent actually goes straight for a Fire Punch. Fire Punch has been buffed this season, but Dragonite easily withstands the damage. The opponent then try their luck, looking for the Superpower catch onto Azumarill. We hold our energy and send out the UFO. The opponent doesn't farm up to the Hydro Pump, so Magnezone should survive any one move. Not particularly well, but we do survive. Shiftreason farms up to the double Whale Charge, so if the opponent shields once, they're going to be forced to shield twice. The opponent does indeed burn that first Protect Shield. Are they going to double shield and look to realign their Pokemon? The opponent invests both Protect Shields, and now we set up Morpeko with its 2 to no shield advantage. Are we about to see a Morpeko sweep? We burn the first Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming player up. The opponent then try for the Aura Wheel catch onto Clodsire. Again, very nice discipline on display. We fire off the seed bomb. We've now got the dark type aura wheel. This dark type aura wheel will not only rock them below half health, but certainly put them in a range where the next seed bomb will be removing them from the field of play. Shiftreason instantly puts up the final protect shield, blocking up the incoming sludge bomb. There's no messing around. We're just going straight for the seed bomb. Looking to get Clodsire off the field of play. Seed bomb secures the knockout. We are spamming the switch, anticipating Diggersby entering the arena. We go for the wham, bam, combo play, superpower. Picks up that one shot. Get that Diggersby off my screen. Back out comes a Azumarill. The opponent is going to be able to Ice Beam, take out Dragonite with Morpeko. Going to be able to get the Thundershock farm down, and we're going to emerge victorious. GG's. Heading into the next battle, once again we see Sonic the Hedgehog in the lead, somewhat of a core breaker. Again we see the pivot into Magnezone. Both trainers farming up a boatload of energy. Shiftreason says, come on trainer, I dare you to drill run. The opponent goes for the Ice Punch bait. Shiftreason clearly does not shield baits in his household, or he's just got huge nuts and just wears shorts all the time. Either way, what a call. Despite Magnezone obtaining us a shield advantage there, that mid game was so quick. When we send Morpeko out, we are still going to be switch locked. Shiftreason correctly waited out his full timer. Once again, we get baited with an Ice Punch, but in fairness, you don't really need to drill run Morpeko. Even an Ice Punch will do massive damage. We fire off the Aura Wheel on the charge attack priority. The opponent invests their final Protect Shield, looking to force ours. Can we get the Thundershock farm down before the next Ice Punch is reached? Oof, no we can't. This Sandslash is running through our team. That Ice Punch did absurd damage to Morpeko. The opponent sends out Toxapex. We pivot into Dragonite and out comes Azumarill. Unfortunately, this one looks like it's going to end in defeat. The opponent goes straight for the Ice Beam. Ice Beam, double super effective damage. It probably killed that Dragonite and every Dragonite that's ever entered the Go Battle League. We fire off the Aura Wheel, hitting no bubbles, and we are going to get Bubble Farm down, and the opponent is going to take that game. You can't win them all. GG's. In the next battle, we see somewhat of a tricky lead. Jumpluff, very bulky and hitting for super effective, but Shiftreason has a plan. Catch the Aerial Ace onto Magnezone where it is double resisted. Have you ever seen Shadow Zone? Tanker moves so well. No, and you probably never will again. Zone, a complete wall to Jumpluff's energy, but the energy ball ironically does a decent amount of damage, and Zone now finds itself in the red health range. Shiftreason heavily overfarms before unleashing the wild charge, looking to remove Jumpluff from the field of play. Down goes Jumpluff. Out comes Gator. Trainer, it's just a mirror shot. It's just a mirror shot, I promise. Oh man. Zone gets an eye of its big boom, but Morpeko enters the field of play with a 2-to-1 shield advantage. Shiftreason instantly going to be putting up that protect shield, blocking up the incoming Hydro Cannon, and the opponent continues to stay in. Oh boy, are we about to see another Morpeko sweep? We fire off the Aura Wheel. Aura Wheel forces the opponent's final protect shield, and they're very much in danger of getting Thundershock farmed down. 2-5 boosted Thundershocks remove Gator from the field of play. It's going to be close. We get the perfect farm down. X in with a whole heap of energy. Out comes Tentacruel. Dark type Aura Wheel almost picks up the one shot. We've got the Seed Bomb bank, but it looks like we're going for some bad manners. Hitting the full no bubble. The opponent able to survive. We're looking to switch out. Giving them that wham, bam, combo play. Serving up the Big Mac and the fries. Dragonite comes out just to get his victim. And we take that game. Heading into the next battle. Dunsparce. Well, that's a core breaker. Dragonite not going to fancy the rock type coverage. And our back to electric types aren't going to fancy tanking a drill run. We see the Say switch into Morpeko. Go straight for the Aura Wheel, which goes unshielded. And that's a very good start to removing this very annoying pest from the field of play. We see the instant shield deployed, blocking up the drill run. Morpeko going to be able to outpace to the next Aura Wheel, picking up the knockout or forcing our shield back. This is now kind of tricky. Do we go all in on Morpeko or save a Protect Shield for our Glassy Shadows? Looks like Shiftreason, recognising that neither of our Shadow Pokemon tank move particularly well, opts to save the final shield, sends out Zone. Zone gets that farm down. Oh boy, the first Zap Cannon of the video. The opponent is not going to expect this much damage. Zap Cannon is resisted. Holy crap, that's like 80%. We pivot back out into Dragonite. Dragonite able to outpace to the Dragonclaw. Dragonclaw forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. The opponent rapidly running out of HP. They're not doubled up. If we Volt Switch farm down before the next Hydro Cannon, I think this one will end in a victory. We should be able to survive even a Frenzy Plant, although we do find ourselves in the bait game. Shiftreason looks to call the Aerial Ace bait, which we call, and that is going to seal the opponent's fate. We reach the Wild Charge, hitting no bubbles, and Zone is going to be able to clean up. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we see PvPoke's #1 ranked pick, the ever annoying, ever common and ever bulky Clodsire. This is the Sludge Bomb variant, as they throw after only 6 poison stings. We're going to see Shiftreason instantly put up that Protect Shield, blocking up the Sludge Bomb and farm up to the double Dragon Claws. Clodsire, very bulky. A Dragon Claw probably won't be lethal from this range. I think it does around 40%. The opponent shields the first, Dragonite able to fire off the second, winning the charge attack priority. The opponent goes 2 for 2, doubling down on Clodsire. It looks like Shiftreason going to save his final Protect Shield for his Electric type Mon, hopefully the ground type in the lead. There's no other ground type or something that can counter our Electrics in the back. We farm up, make a savage Sludge Bomb catch onto Magnezone. Very, very nicely done. The opponent continues to stay in, looking to force our final Protect Shield with a potential Earthquake. We're going to see Shiftreason correctly shield up the Earthquake. The opponent then pivots out into Gator. Trainer, no. Gator going to be straight in and straight out. Get that Gator off my screen. Out comes Poliwrath, and Poliwrath very quickly about to meet the same fate. Wild Charge picks up another knockout. We then go for the combo play, sending out Morpeko. Morpeko fires off the Aura Wheel. Aura Wheel isn't quite lethal. I thought we were going to find the Shock Farm down. Unfortunately, we're unable to do so. But we reach the next Aura Wheel and take that game. 2 massive booms. GG's. In the next battle, we see Gastron in the lead. Exactly where the team wants to see it. The back 2 Mon petrified of this thing. Although I'd love to see a Seed Bomb land from Morpeko. The opponent goes straight for a Body Slam. Body Slam has been nerfed in recent seasons and doesn't do all that much damage, and the opponent's going to have a very tough time of double resisted Mud Slap farming us down. The opponent invests a Protect Shield. Dragonite more than happy to match, and we should be able to farm down afterwards. The opponent not wanting to concede a farm down, pivot out into Typhlosion. Dragonite going to fire off the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw forces the opponent's final protection. We see the pivot into Morpeko. Typhlosion with a monstrous attack stat, but Morpeko in a league of its own. Able to win the charge attack priority. Typhlosion doesn't even get any energy off. Back out. Comes Gastrodon. Gastrodon looks for that Mud Slap farm down. Morpeko says no. Fires off the Aura Wheel. Aura Wheel will be removing them from the field of play. Out comes the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Bird of Death Zone enters the arena. The opponent going to have to fully incinerate farm us down. Zone might be glassy. Able to hang on. Reach the Wild Charge. And that is going to be all she wrote with another very quick game. GG's. In the next battle, we see our nemesis, Steelix. Last time, Shiftreason was very nicely able to maneuver his way around this threat. Again, we go for the same strategy of pivoting out into Morpeko and going straight for the Seed Bomb, as this one isn't the Shadow variant. That Seed Bomb really doesn't do much damage. Again, we see the opponent not farm up to a potential Earthquake. They fire off the Break-In Swipe. I don't believe he got debuffed. The opponent then tries to make a catch, catching onto Mandibuzz. I'm not really sure that's the swap the opponent's looking for. The Dark-type Aura Wheel is resisted, but still does some very big damage. We're then able to survive the Air Slashes, reaching the Aura Wheel. Aura Wheel will be removing them from the field of play. The opponent invests the protection on Mandibuzz. If the opponent looks for that Air Slash farm down, Morpeko simply will refuse to die, reaching one further Aura Wheel. The Dark-type Aura Wheel removes them from the field of play. Big, bad, bulky Mandibuzz getting an absolute hurt put on it. As satisfying as seeing that bulky Vulture get bullied, this Steelix is still very much a problem. We send out Dragonite, invest a Protect Shield on the Break-In Swipe, then catch the next Break-In Swipe and sneak a Volt Switch in the process. Oh man, it's a real team effort to remove this Steel Snake. The opponent continues to stay in. Again, this is only a Break-In Swipe or potentially a Psychic Fangs. The opponent unleashes the next Break-In Swipe. They do double resist Electric, but that's got to be Wild Charge range. Wild Charge removes Steelix from the field of play. Out comes Drifblim. Drifblim going to be burning the final Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Wild Charge. And it's an Energy Lead Dragonite versus the Balloon. Shiftreason heavily overfarms, getting off as much Dragon Breath damage as he physically can before the opponent debuff us with an Icy Wind. The opponent looks for the Astonished farm down. Dragonite holds strong. Dragon Breath farms down, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see the Shadow Dragonite Mirror. Shiftreason able to fully farm down. Very, very nice for us. The opponent send out Superior. Superior going to be greeted with the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw lands, doing some very nice chip damage. We stay in to align Magnezone. Magnezone enters the field of play. The opponent aggressively send out Talonflame. We fire off the Wild Charge. The opponent able to sneak the Incinerate, so we really need to get out. We force that Protect Shield, send out Morpeko. The opponent plays the CMP tie. They do not win. Shout out Home Slice Henry for that quote. The opponent very quickly go all shields down. I think we just shield whatever they throw. We do see the instant shield deployed. The opponent full send a Brave Bird. The opponent stays in, looking to fire off another charge move. Again, we're going to see the shield deployed. The opponent fire off the fly. They say Talonflame, send back out Superior. If this is a Frenzy Plant, I think it's game over for us. The opponent only had an Aerial Ace banked. Morpeko, able to hang on, reach the Aura Wheel. Aura Wheel picks up the knockout. Can Talonflame Incinerate farm us down? I guess even if they could, the Volt Switch would register before the Incinerate, and the result would end the same, with us taking that game. In the next battle, we see the shiny Panda Bear in the lead. The opponent save switches into Clodsire. Looks like we're more than happy to stay in, at least at the start. Trying to get off some chip damage. Dragonclaw goes unshielded. We see the instant shield deployed. Is this a Sludge Bomb or a Stone Edge variant? It's the Stone Edge variant. So I'm going to anticipate us looking to make a catch. Onto Magnezone. If this Dragonclaw goes shielded, let's see what the opponent wants to do. They do invest that Protect Shield. We pivot into zone. Once again, making a very nice catch. Unfortunately for us, the opponent's timer would have elapsed, so Panda re-enters the arena, and they are going to fire off the Night Slash. Please don't boost. Night Slash goes unshielded. Thankfully, we don't see the boost, but the opponent is able to outpace Dragonite before the Dragonclaw's reached. We're going to see the final shield deployed, blocking up the incoming Night Slash. Dragonite able to fully Dragon Breath farm down, leaving with a whole heap of energy, but hardly any HP. Out comes Toxapex. So the opponent running a variation of Dark Double Poison. We land the Dragonclaw pivot into Morpeko. The opponent tried to make the catch back onto Clodsire. We hold our energy over farm, fire off the Aura Wheel. Aura Wheel goes unshielded, removing Clodsire from the field of play. Back out comes Toxapex. This is going to get so close. Aura Wheel forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Sludge Wave will be lethal. Hopefully it's just a Brine and we get off some more Thundershock damage. It is just a Brine. Can we reach another charge? If we cannot, we've got the Dragonclaw banked. It comes down to this. Is Dragonclaw enough to knock out? No! Heartbreakingly, the opponent able to hang on, Poison Jab farm down, and take a very close game. GG's to both trainers. And that is just about going to wrap things up for my first video of 2025. Huge shout out to Shiftreason. My God, that was an absolute banger. We're only a few days into 2025, but I'm sure a lot of you agree that is without a doubt the most destructive team you've seen this year. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. The link to our battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thanks to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.